Hey everyone, welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be doing another photo chat, photo story critique, where I take some pictures while I'm out and about at a place and then I go through them on here on video so that I can learn from my mistakes and see some of the good things that I did in my photography and share them with others so that hopefully you can benefit from it in some way. So today's theme, I guess, is the Chinese Garden of Friendship in Darling Harbour in Sydney. That's where we made the trip. So that's where I took the photos. Some of them will be from the drive there and the drive back, but the majority of the bulk of them will be from that garden. And it's a really nice garden. It's quite big. I think it lays on 1 hectare or 3 acres, if I'm correct. And there's ponds there and little pavilions. It's quite beautiful. And I'll let you see the pictures so that I'll describe it more while we go through those. I wish I took some video, but I didn't that day. It would have made it a little bit more animated, this video, but nevertheless, we've got what we've got. And that day I was shooting on the Fuji X-T4. And I was using the Fuji X weekly recipe called Kodak Portra 400 version 2. So all the photos are taken with that. There's been no color manipulation. I just adjusted the crop in some of them and the exposure I didn't nail in some of them, so I just adjusted that. But the colors and everything like that is as shot out of camera. And what else? And I've decided to put into this video 36 exposures, if you like, so to make it feel like it was a roll of film. So let me know which photo was your favorite, and I will see you in the next video, and we'll go over to the voiceover now. Bye! Alright, so this is the first photo, just the journey there, crossing the harbour bridge shortly. I don't mind this picture. I think the colours are kind of nice. I like that it's so wide and you can sort of see all the different lanes there towards the right and all the tiny little cars in the background that are coming towards the direction that we're going from. This one's just after the harbour bridge. There's a few buildings there and I just try to capture the reflection, but I didn't nail the focus on that Westpac sign, which is a bank here in Sydney, but you can see the highway there and the cars. So next time I'll just need to work on the focus of that. But sometimes when it's a spur of the moment thing, it's hard to know where you're pointing, and I think I might have even had it set in manual there. I can't remember from memory. This one here is just edging closer to the location and parking. I just like the way this building looked. Probably way too tight the way I shot it, but I only had a fixed lens at the time. So I was shooting on the 23 f2, the Fuji film 23 f2. So it's one disadvantage when you're shooting on a prime. You can't sort of zoom out if you can't step back. And I was in the car there, so there was no choice but just to shoot as is. But I think it came out pretty good. I just like the busyness of that building, and then you've got the tram tracks in front, and they're perfectly in line with the windows in the diagonal lines, if you can see there. So I just like the way this turned out. This one's again just that building there around the same location. The lady delivering some food. Try to quickly do a snap, and it turned out okay. I think it's in a pretty good. She's in a pretty good position, and you can see her sort of zooming along. This one here is of the old monorail. It's been disassembled now, and it's not in use. But that little cylindrical thing that you can see there used to be the monorail station. And there was a whole lot of connecting tubes. So this thing used to run across the top, like sort of imagine a little tram, but, several meters off the ground. It never really took off. It wasn't a big hit. So now they've put the sort of a thing they called a light rail on the ground through the city. But that's just some of the old architecture that's left after they've disassembled it. It was nice to take a shot of it. I don't like the pole there on the right, but probably could have worked in Lightroom or Photoshop to erase that. But I'm not a big fan of post-processing, so I just like to take pictures of, the real thing. I might, tied up a few little things, but I usually try and leave it as is. So this is now we're on foot walking towards the Chinese Garden of Friendship, and we just saw this Ferris wheel there, and it's just was, I thought it'd be a good composition, but in retrospect it didn't turn out that great with that light there on the right sort of being the main subject, and the Ferris wheel it's blending a little bit into the back. But yeah, anyway, I thought I'd have a try at it, and it came out all right. There was quite a few people there on the ground, and as I've mentioned before, I don't like to take shots of people, so I had to sort of aim higher, and there wasn't a lot of room to move. I'm still a little bit cautious with, the whole situation in the world, with masks, etc. So yeah, anyway, that was that one. And here are closer up, so as we got closer to the Ferris wheel, I was able to sort of point the camera even higher, and you can see there that most of the little cabins are empty, if not all of them. People still cautious going into enclosed spaces, I guess. It was also fairly early in the morning, so that Ferris wheel probably looked really cool at night, so I might return there one night and take some more pictures of that. And this is just looking sort of out to Darling Harbour, so lots of different buildings there, and also a lot of construction going on, as you can see with the cranes. Composition wise, yeah, probably could have gone wider again just to get more scope. I'm not sure if I really cropped it correctly, but yeah, it's a nice picture. I love that building and the way it reflects, the water and the other buildings. I guess the water you can't see there, but the other buildings, they were a bit more clear, it'd probably be even cooler. But yeah, that's sort of like a nice wide picture. This one I really liked. I like that you've got the little lanterns from the Lunar Year Festival, and I just love the architecture of this building, the wood and the stone and the trees and the little landscape there. I just really like the geometry of it, I guess. So I'm pretty happy with this one. I guess that branch at the top could have been a little bit more exposed, I guess, but I kind of like the way it's dark. This one here, we were walking along, and yeah, I just like the way this building sort of, it was like a like a V-shaped thing forming with the trees on one side and the building on the other side. You got the sort of man-made and the nature leading down to this big tower in the middle. I'm quite happy with this one. And this is the same spot, but there was a little seagull sitting there on one of these umbrella things. I just tried to shoot a close-up, but I didn't nail the focus. And this is the first picture from inside. I had a couple more, but they weren't so good, so they didn't make the cut. This one's not the greatest picture, but just one of the little ponds there with I think they're carp, aren't they, and a duck. So first one from inside the garden. And this is some of the bonsais there, which I love these kind of things. They're just, they take so long to grow, and they're just amazing little trees. So it was nice to see those. You've got a lot of different plants there that were just amazing, and really felt like you were in China when you were there, in one of the gardens in China. So here you don't see much of the garden, but I just like the way that you can see like one culture and another one in the background. So you've got all the Chinese sort of architecture at the front, and then the I guess Western or Australian buildings in the background. This one here is from there's a big lake, I guess, in the middle of this place, and some of lilies, I think, the big lily pads, aren't they? I'm not sure of my plant names, but they were just absolutely stunning. I think I've got a close-up of one of them. I think it made the cut for this video. But they were just so big, and they looked so healthy, So again, the sort of city buildings in the background and the Chinese garden in the foreground. It's in such a unique position. It's like another culture has just appeared in the middle of the city. it's really nice. It's very pretty. And here you can see I'm trying to sort of get a bit of foreground with those, the tree that has the willow. Is it willow? I don't know. The little branches that are hanging with the Chinese building in the back. And they placed all the animals of the, is it zodiac or what do you call it? You know, like it's the year of the tiger at the moment. I think this is the ox. So there were all the different, is it 12 of them? I think there is. They were all scattered throughout the gardens. But I like the way this one looked, got sort of light bouncing in different spots. And it sort of almost looks real. This photo and the next one. Oh, and there's one more. I think are my favorites of the shoot, I guess. Yeah. So I found this like, as you can see, this circular thing, and then there was a man there in the background. So I'm scrambling with the camera trying to get the focus. I missed it on him here, as you can see. But then I had another try here of this lady. There was two ladies there doing some sort of photo shoot. I'm not sure what was going on, but I managed to get that in focus. But she is a little bit sort of small in the frame, whereas the one before, if I just jump back, was probably a better framing. But unfortunately, the focus didn't work out. In this one, I've got the focus, but I guess the framing's not perfect. So again, here there's only a little path there, so I couldn't step back enough, and there were a few people wandering through, which, you know, I was trying to wait for the right moment. Very tricky to shoot, but I'm happy with the way I sort of tried to compose this. So now I know I can work on a picture like that in the future in another location. This one's just a close-up of flowers, just having a look at the different colors that come out from this film simulation. I really like the reds here, especially the pot. And this one is, again, of the same two ladies there. One is trying to do a selfie, I think, there, and conveniently she just blocked her face, which is perfect for this. And the other one I slightly blurred out in post. I really like the light here. I just try to play around with shooting through this wall with holes in it. I think I did an all right job. It's not the perfect picture, you know. It is on the third line, I guess. We're all thirds. Not much happening on the left. Probably could have cut that out. Tricky to shoot when it's really busy and, you know, people around and you're trying to sort of compose a picture and be in the moment with the camera, but other things are going on, especially, you know, this time of the world crisis, etc. I really like this one too. It was just a random, I just like these flowers and I took it, and I really like the way the colors came out on this film simulation. The Portra 400, I don't know, I just really like them. There's nothing special about this picture, but I just like the way it came out. And this is sort of trying to get these lily pads. Gosh, I hope I'm calling them the right thing. You can see there's almost one blooming there in the foreground with a flower. And yeah, just the buildings behind that. I think it came out all right. It's a little bit overlit, I guess, in places, but I just did the flower, the flowers, the nature was amazing, and I tried to capture, but I always find that like you can't almost, like nature doesn't look as good in a photo as it does in real life, whereas some buildings are maybe the opposite. I don't know, still learning, but it's kind of an observation I've made. And here's one of the buildings that was sort of like on top. You walk up to there, and really pretty. Just, yeah, so amazing, the architecture of the Chinese culture. Here's those lily pads or whatever they are again, and some of the flowers that you can see. But up close, they were just amazing, and some of them were just, like I said, really, really big. Just I love like big leaves on plants. Something about them, it's just like, wow, you know, that thing actually grew from a tiny little, you know, millimeter seed. And that's just trying to shoot through them there, or I could get to the ground, but yeah, a little bit too much reflection, and maybe the focus is sort of not on the right thing there. Just trying working on my framing here, different ideas with putting plants in front and buildings in the back. And yeah, so that was the end of the Chinese gardens, and then we're walking back to the car park, etc. So I saw this Hard Rock Cafe sign, and of course they're scattered around the world, I think, still. So I just took it. I just thought, oh, this is a cool sign. I do like signs, buildings, that sort of thing. Nice building. Just try to shoot up to try and compose a sort of frame with it. Probably blends a little bit too much with the blue on the building to the blue of the sky, but I still like it. I'm struggling a little bit to get all the, what do you call it, when the buildings are like swaying sideways. If I try and use the Lightroom, whatever tool it is, I can't remember the name, is it perspective or whatever, it just crops so much sometimes that, the meaning of the picture goes. So I don't know if you need to shoot wider to get, I need to investigate on that one. But yeah, I think the more it needs to be cropped to make it, look like it's exactly right, it just loses sort of the framing. So a bit tricky. So I left that one a little bit, tilted, I guess. And this is on the way back. This is a little place called the Little Snail. It's a restaurant that's been around for a long, long time in Sydney. It's moved places. It used to be in another area, I think. But I just like the way they've done the sculpture at the front and the little trees sitting inside it. And this one's just, heading back over the bridge. Just some shots out of the car. Kind of a moving, blurred. I like these images sometimes when they're just not like planned, it's just a spur of the moment thing. I like shooting that way. This one's a little bit more in focus, but you can see what I was saying there again with the trying to get the buildings all straight or, to the right perspective. I've just left them as they were there. And that's the harbour bridge. Probably would like a bit more contrast, a bit less exposure. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe the sides need to be a bit darker, but I just like the way this looked. It was another fast moment photograph. But yeah, that's the way the pillars are on the side. This is the famous harbour bridge. And a bit of more of a close-up. They have different lanes there, as you can see, the 1, 2, 3, 4 in green, and the other lanes coming that way. It's a bit of a scary drive if you're in those outside lanes, and they switch them around as the traffic changes from afternoon to morning, etc. And I managed to get a little train there. I wish I would have shot that a little lower because you can't get that feel of being on the ground. But again, learning. And you can see the perspective is a little bit skewed there as well. But the bridge is amazing, like just such a structure, like how they even put that together so long ago. And again, just trying to get an even sort of symmetry there, but I didn't quite nail it. I think that's a train on the left there as well. And last picture, the 36 one of the complete roll, I guess. This is the other side of the bridge, so coming out of the bridge, just a bus there in that little lane. That's one of the lanes that's just on its own. And a few cars flying through as well. So thanks for watching. This brings us to the end of this photo shoot. I've definitely learnt a few things there, and especially about using maybe a wider lens when I shoot architecture in this way, and also a little bit about the way the buildings are tilting, and I need to look more into that as to how to stop that from happening, and maybe shoot a bit wider so that I can fix them in post, or maybe just leave them the way they are. It's kind of natural. The way the lens shot that is the way it is rendered by the camera, so maybe that's kind of cool too, to have that skewed perspective. But let me know what you think. Let me know your favorite picture, and if you're enjoying this sort of chatty videos in the comments below. And I'll leave the links to the film simulation and to the Chinese gardens in case you want to have a look at their website. And I will see you in the next video. And if you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe because that helps my channel. And over and out. Bye.